Hello everyone, thanks for dropping by. I thought I'd just talk to you today about the new Star Wars, in light of the movie that's going to be starting to be made next year. And you'll have seen the reports of it on all the news channels from where you are. I've liked Star Wars ever since I first saw it in 1977, and I thought I'd give you my interpretation of the setting. George Lucas says, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Fair enough. That's his version of Once Upon a Time, because Star Wars is a fairy tale, space fantasy, the same league of space fantasy as what Star Trek is, and Battlestar Galactica, and Babylon 5, and EVE Online. It's somebody's imagination. George Lucas gives it an unspecified location, but to me, Star Wars is set in the future. It's set in our Milky Way galaxy, not a galaxy. The tale could be told from aliens, say, in the Andromeda galaxy. On Wikipedia, the official source of Star Wars information, it says about the Star Wars galaxy, total stars 400 billion, the same as in the Milky Way. Size 120,000 light years across, more or less the same as in the Milky Way. It also says several smaller galaxies and a halo of stars orbit it, same as the Milky Way has the larger and smaller Magellanic Cloud and smaller globular clusters orbiting it. What is it now? Shrink that down. If you look at a map of the Star Wars galaxy and compare it side by side with a map of ours, you got the deep core in the middle. You have the core worlds, then the inner rim, expansion zone, mid rim, outer rim, unknown regions. When humanity eventually develops faster than light travel, which we must if we are to go out there, then it's pointless to go outward to the rim of the galaxy. The stars spread out the further out you go, with greater travel time. You need to go inward. Smaller distances between stars, less travel time, more communication between colonies. Earth, on looking at our galaxy, is on the 9 o'clock region, about halfway through. On Wikipedia it says the first human colonists landed on Alderaan. That's only on Alderaan. No mention about other colonists as we progress round to Alderaan, which on the Star Wars map is on the 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock region. We work inwards and then move around the galaxy, slowly colonizing it. 27,500 years. That's a Star Wars galactic year, which is 368 days. It'll take humanity thousands of years to establish ourselves in space. By land, the first colonists, no doubt, means that humanity has already become a spacefaring species. 27,500 years, that's 27.5 millennia. Say 40,000 millennia to reach that point. That means humanity has been travelling in space, colonizing for nearly 68,000 years. Of course, the Star Wars takes place 27,500 years before after the first colonists land on Alderaan. That means 60, 80,000 years from now, say 100,000 years, Star Wars takes place in our future. There's other little pointers. Leia is an Arabic name. Han is a German name. Luke, I think, is Greek. The rebel symbol of the Firebird. That's the phoenix. The phoenix has its origins in ancient Greece here on Earth, and is also linked to similar birds in Persia and in Japan and China. The Jedi Knights, fictional again, but they are warriors, monks. They can fight with swords. The Shaolin monks in China, they follow the path of Buddhism, which is a path of peace. The canon Wikipedia had the Jedi's not fighting originally with lightsabers, but with ordinary metal swords. The light and dark side of the Force. In the Star Wars canon, it's a Sith world with two moons, one predictably in light, one in darkness, and they overlap. That's the symbol. They also have a symbol here on Earth called Yin Yang, light versus darkness, light side of the Force, dark side of the Force. Also, the Force itself looks very similar to telekinesis, be able to move objects with a mind. There are reports of some unique humans that can do that. Maybe that's a genetic trait. As if you remember, in the original Star Wars movie The Phantom Menace, the Force was caused by subatomic particle things in human cells. Some people have more of it than others, Force sensitive. Of course, it's all fantasy, it's all science fiction, but for a vision of humanity's future out there, once we leave this planet and start to explore our galaxy, it's a lot more believable, technologically wise and society wise, than the all-American Star Trek or Babylon 5. There are alien beings out there, as in the canon, that we will meet, we will interact, we will form a galactic society with. But you and me and everyone else will have been dead for centuries before that happens. As I said, these Star Wars movies, I think, are getting on for 100,000 years in our future. 40, 50, 60,000 years for us to start colonizing the galaxy, reaching Alderaan by 27,500. Earth will be long forgotten by then. You're looking at, say, 100,000 years, 1,000 generation. Each generation is 25 years. So 4 generations to 100 years, 40 generations to 1,000 years. You're looking at 40 generations to 1,000 years, 400,000 generations. Who's going to remember Earth? Us humans originated in the Horn of Africa. What was it? 1, possibly 2 million years ago? Who thinks of Horn of Africa? Also, Italy was the Roman Empire, Rome. That's gone, finished. Power shifts. Coruscant, which is on, where are we now? 12 o'clock position on map of the Milky Way. That's the centre of the galactic government in the Star Wars tale. Where's the centre of the world's government now? New York, United Nations. Long way from Rome. Anyway, to me, Star Wars is set thousands of years in the future. That's the technology they've had for tens of thousands of years. That's why they're so familiar with it and doesn't marvel. These things, mobile phones, or as the Yanks call them, cell phones, 50 years ago, these were totally unknown. Yet, in my lifetime, if you want to make a phone call, you go into a phone box and press the A and B button. Most people use these for phoning now, and phone boxes are being dismantled because nobody uses them. People take these for granted. This is a basic one. You have Blackberries now, you have phones that can surf the internet, then text and video. Part of our everyday life. We have tablets now. The same as in the technology of Star Wars. The people in that fictional future, they think that androids and that are part of everyday life. Same with interstellar travel. Do you ever think of the marvelous space of airline flight when you're flying? 60 years ago, it was a novelty. Now it's every day. Same with them. They travel from one star system to another faster than light, hyperspace traveling spacecraft, starships. They don't think anything remarkable about it. As I said, I'm looking forward to this new movie. I'd like to see where the story goes, what new twists they're going to have. But the actual, not the story itself, the actual setting, it's thousands of years in the future. Star Trek is so-so. I've never been a Star Trek fan. Babylon 5, dystopian future, that was Aliens, Stargate, silly. But Star Wars, that resonated with me. And I just wish I could live long enough to see it happen. But I know I'm 56 years old now. I've got probably 25 years left in front of me, maybe 30 if I'm lucky. And I'll be long gone before 100,000 years comes by. So, most repeated, I won't be allowed to see it. Anyway, I just thought I'd share these personal views with you about this upcoming movie saga, and I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, as always, like, dislike, subscribe, unsubscribe, comment, whatever. It's entirely up to you. So until next time, bye.